Alright, let's dive into something that's both fascinating and a little heartbreaking: songs from the 60s that were born out of real relationship drama. Now, I've always thought that songwriters have this unique superpower. They can take the messiest, most complicated emotions and turn them into something universal. But what makes this really interesting is when you realize these songs aren't just fictional tales. They're raw, personal stories. So, let's unpack 3 of these tracks and see what they reveal about love, heartbreak, and the human condition. First up, For No One by the Beatles. On the surface, it's a song about rejection, but personally, I think it's so much more than that. Paul McCartney wrote this about his relationship with Jane Asher, and what immediately stands out is how he captures the paradox of knowing something isn't right but still feeling the weight of it. McCartney himself said it's a song about marking the end of something that didn't work, and that's what makes it timeless. We've all been there, right? That moment when you realize a relationship is over, but you're still processing the emotions. What many people don't realize is how McCartney uses the mundane, like a girl leaving a room, to symbolize something deeply profound. It's not just about the breakup. It's about the quiet moments that follow, the realization that life goes on without the other person. If you take a step back and think about it, this song isn't just a personal vent. It's a universal reflection on loss and acceptance. Now, let's talk about Bob Dylan's Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. This one's often misunderstood as a love song, but Dylan himself said it's more of a self-talk, a way to make himself feel better after Suze Rotolo left him. What makes this really interesting is the contrast between the upbeat melody and the bittersweet lyrics. It's as if Dylan is trying to convince himself it's okay, even though it clearly isn't. From my perspective, this song is a masterclass in emotional complexity. It's not just about the pain of being left behind. It's about the human tendency to put on a brave face, even when we're falling apart inside. What this really suggests is that sometimes the most personal songs are the ones that resonate the most because they're honest, not just about the situation but about how we cope with it. Lastly, Joni Mitchell's I Had a King is a song that's both beautiful and heartbreaking. Written about her first marriage to Chuck Mitchell, it's a portrait of 2 people who love each other but are fundamentally incompatible. One thing that immediately stands out is the imagery: the king in drip dry and paisley, the ladies in gingham. It's not just a song about a failed marriage. It's about the clash between tradition and individuality. Mitchell's lyrics are so vivid. You can almost see her in her leather and lace, yearning for something more. What many people don't realize is how this song foreshadows her later work, where she'd break free from folk traditions and create something entirely her own. If you take a step back and think about it, this song isn't just about a relationship ending. It's about the birth of an artist finding her voice. So what's the bigger takeaway here? Personally, I think these songs remind us that art is often born out of pain. But more than that, they show us how personal stories can become universal truths. McCartney, Dylan, and Mitchell weren't just writing about their own lives. They were tapping into emotions we've all felt. And that's why these songs still resonate today. They're not just relics of the 60s. They're timeless reflections on what it means to love, lose, and move on. This raises a deeper question. How many of the songs we love are rooted in real pain? And does that make them more powerful? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your take.